Hello, my name is Fiona Stanton from Fee's Papercraft. I'm going to show you how we do one of the cards in the March 2021 Craft in the Box class, the handsomely suited even. So we're going to do that. I'm only going to do one of them. I'm going to do this one because the technique's the same. You'll get, so these lapels, these bits, they cut both sides. So you'll get both halves, so you can choose which side you want to put your lapel. You obviously, this one is using shimmery effects, so you can use whichever ones, whatever you've got at home, to go on top of that. Right, so first of all, what I'm going to do is emboss my card. I think I've lost all my buttons now. Buttons are so small. Hopefully I've got, well, might have lost one, but we'll work it out. So I always forget with embossing what I need. This is a 3D embossing folder, but luckily with the Stamp and Emboss, you've got your sandwiches there. So just look on there, read what folder you've got. This is a 3D embossing one. So I just need plate 1 and plate 4. And fingers crossed that will work. So this is the painted texture 3D embossing folder. And it will probably look better than my original, because my original one, I forgot I was going to emboss. And so I did it as a whole, and so I don't think it took very well. But there you go. So this will look a bit more sharpy, I think. And it does. That looks a lot better. Right. I'll put everything away. Right, so you can see that's come out a lot better now. And that's because I actually embossed it correctly with the right embossing sandwich and the right number. Oh, there we go. And with everything else correct. So that's why it works better. Strange that. So what I'm going to do first of all, so when I said you'll get both halves of the lapel, this is what I mean. It's actually joined together, if I can get it the right way to look. So we need a short bit in there, do we? I knew I'd never be able to put this back together again. Like that. There we go. So it's actually joined together. So you can choose which half of your lapel you want to use. But it is important that you work it out, because that is how we decide. So this needs to go on this side. There we go. Because this is what we're going to snip off. Like that. Let's glue that on first of all. So a nice crinkle. Have you seen those? I always buy them. The crinkle shirts that don't need ironing. Don't need to iron this shirt, they say. It's perfect. And it comes out like that. Never mind. Right. And then you're just going to snip off the excess like that, and that is your flowers. And then we just line that up on here onto our cardstock. So this is a pear pizzazz and shaded spruce. Get that right. So now I've got to remember that we're going to do everything in the opposite way. There we go. Okay, so we need to put our buttons. We're going to have 5 down here, and then 1 for the pockets. So the pocket will go on. And the pocket's got these stitch details. You can't really see it too well, but it is stitched. I'm just going to put a couple of dimensionals on. Now what you could do, what I did mix this up at one stage with the lovely labels tag, and it can just slip in there. So if you want to slip a tag in, you need to make sure you don't put any kind of glue in the middle there. So you can cut these in half and just put these around the edges, so you've got a little proper pocket you can slip the message into. And that's one way of getting a message onto the front of the card, because I haven't put a greeting on there. That's up to you if you want to put a greeting on. But one way of doing it is having it poking out of the pocket and so you need to make sure you leave space to be able to put something in the pocket. Put the pocket there, and we've got straight would help obviously, but let's not ask for miracles. And then we will put, and again, you can't tell from this video, but the buttons are embossed as well, very sweetly. I'm going to do it the reverse way. So they've got some nice embossed detail on the buttons, but unfortunately with the DSP and the size that they are, you can't really tell. So I'm not going to try and tell you that they're embossed at all. Right, and let's put my dots on. So I find it easy to do it this way. So line them up so you kind of more or less, I mean, what you could do is start with the middle one. I guess that's a sensible way. You always start with the middle button. Make sure that's, in fact, I should do that, shouldn't I? If you've got the middle button in the middle, then, you know, the rest of them will follow. And then try and line it up distance-wise from the edge of the blouse or shirt, whatever you are creating. With the other version of this card with the longer lapel, I have put some gold glitter dots on top. With this one, I use the shimmery effects. Now, what I'm going to do is put this onto the card blank. Oh, I've left the card blank over there. And then add my shimmery effects. Because with the shimmery effects, I haven't put a message inside this card. Oh, I have. I've put happy birthday to you. I ought to do that then. Happy birthday to you. There we go. And we will use Shaded Spruce. It does help to check inside your cards. Make sure. I'm normally very bad at putting greetings in this in. I normally leave them and then wait until I know what I'm going to use it for. But this is going to be a birthday card. Use your grid paper to line up, and then hopefully you'll have a chance of getting it straight. I'm not going to guarantee it because this is me and you know me. Oh, just move that a little bit. Alright, find my shimmery effects. Right. So this is shimmery effects. You've probably got something similar which you could use. Always test it out, get the air out. There we go. And these are pretty easy to use. You might need to use two hands. Sometimes I need to use two hands. She says, are you going to come out for me? There we go. And just lift it up and it will form down. And when it dries, it takes a good few hours to dry, to be honest. But it does dry to form a nice kind of dome. So it looks a bit peaked at the moment, but it does dry down. And it dries down clear with a little bit of glittery effects in there. And it's all down to how much you use. It's like a little glaze, it's quite nice. So that will need to go off and dry, and I normally leave it overnight to dry, to be honest. You don't want to put your finger in it when it's half baked as such. And then you get this kind of, so you can see, I don't know whether you'll be able to see it, they're clear, but it gives a 3D effect, and they've got some shimmer to them, some little glitter particles in them, and they're quite nice. So I'm going to leave that to one side to dry, and that is, oh, I should show you, and those are the two cards. Thank you very much.